Aloha, everybody. As we all know, Hawaii is at various stages of recovery. Some areas have fully recovered, while some not at all, and a lot of in between. We have some good news. So far, Hawaii has received $120 million in federal funding for the various disasters this year. The Big Island has received $56 million, and Kauai and Oahu have received a combined $64 million. And by the end of the week, we will have another down payment on more money for Hawaii. The House of Representatives, as we speak, is passing $1.7 billion in block grants for disaster recovery. That will include Hawaii, the storm in the Carolinas, western wildfires, and about 37 total disasters across the country. The good news about this money is it's extremely flexible for our counties to use as they see fit. And Hawaii will, in this down payment, receive tens of millions of dollars in these grants. The funding is going to help our state and local governments across Hawaii to rebuild communities hurt by the disaster. I do expect this legislation will pass the Senate easily in the coming days. So we've already started working with federal agencies and state and county officials to make sure that Hawaii puts forward a strong application and maximizes the federal revenue coming in. Again, this is just a down payment, and it's going to be in the tens of millions. We do not know the precise amount because a lot of that has to do with the applications being submitted or being compiled and submitted by each of our counties and coordinated both with our office and with the state as well. But it's good news for two reasons. First, because tens of millions of dollars can be used to help the counties recover, but also because it indicates that the Congress is leaning towards doing what they call a disaster supplemental, which will be much more than $1.7 billion and will result in much more than tens of millions of dollars for the state of Hawaii. So that's the state of play right now. We can't give you much more precision on the numbers because it depends on our application and how we present ourselves to the federal agencies in terms of unmet needs. But this pot of money is now available. It's called CDBG DR. So some of you may be familiar with the Community Development Block Grant program administered through HUD. Sometimes it goes to the state and then to the counties, and sometimes it goes straight to the various counties. And it's relatively flexible money. This is CDBG DR, disaster recovery. So CDBG DR, and it is really the most flexible money out there in terms of allowing states and counties to recover. A lot of the other money that we've brought in has been already authorized, already funded, formula funded, and determined by the various federal agencies. This money has to be appropriated, has to be decided by the legislative branch, and the fact that the legislative branch is moving forward is really very good news. So we're happy with this down payment, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Jim from Hawaii News Now, how does it eventually migrate down to the people, the boots on the ground, the folks who really need this disaster relief? I know you were talking about farmers, the horticulture industry on the Big Island. How does it eventually get to them?
Well, this money will land at the county level, and then the county is going to make a determination about how best to spend it. CDBG money, generally speaking, is based on the premise that local governments understand local needs. So our job is to secure the resources, and each city or county has to make a determination about how to use those resources. They can use it to help farmers. They could do roads. They could rebuild a school if they wanted. They obviously can't do everything with these dollars, but they're the closest to the problems and the opportunities in communities, and so it's important for them to get the money and them to decide how to spend it.
Senator Sept, it's Max Seibel from the West Hawaii today. I'm curious, you talked about the application process and kind of going through all of the loops that you have to go through. When could the counties actually expect to receive and start spending some of this money?
I don't think we can give you a precise timeline. They are in the process. I mean, they're in the final stages of compiling their applications. Of course, we have to enact this thing into law first, but my judgment is that it'll be my staff is writing something down for me. So it's 90 to 100 days for the data collection, and then shortly after that, the money should be moved to the counties once they set their formulas and move it out.
Senator, is it $120 million between the three counties, and it could be higher? Is that the down payment? I'm a little confused.
Yeah. So thanks for asking that question. The $120 million is an accounting of all the resources that have come into Hawaii from the federal government up to this point. That's not having to do with what's passing this week. What's passing this week is a down payment on what we hope will be a larger number, and that we can expect to be, the down payment we can expect to be in the tens of millions, and when and if we pass a disaster supplemental bill, we hope, we hope for a larger amount.